this would have been the point on my lovely slides where you'd see Mega and Anna's faces from the support line. So we're going to start off by giving a bit of an overview, as I say, off the support line, and also to say hello to Mega and Anna, who, if you contact the support line, or if you have done already, you may have done, the chances are you'll get through to either Mega or Anna. So it made a bit of sense for them to give a bit of an overview as to who they are and whatnot as well. So I'm going to mute myself, and I suggest we start with Anna, and then Mega can hand over as well, just to tell you a little bit about them.
Hello everybody. Don't know if can you hear me? Is that okay?
Yes.
So it's nice to meet you all, even if it's virtually, which we probably didn't expect. But yeah, it's nice to see all your faces, and it's nice to see a lot of people here. So yeah, as Luke said, I'm Anna, one of the new support line advisors. I started in January, and I'm really happy to be on the TSA support line. So I'll give you a little bit of my professional background first. I've been in information roles before, and I'm a writer for specialising in health, wellbeing and disability. But I've also, alongside that, been a support line contact for another health charity for the past 4 years. And yeah, so that's kind of where I started professionally. But outside of that, I have a health condition myself, and that's sort of what's given me the passion and the drive to want to do something like this and help others. And obviously TSA is a great cause. And outside of work, I read quite a lot, and when we're not in lockdown, I spend a lot of time in the countryside. But yeah, if there's anything else you want to ask me or you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. But hopefully that's given a bit of an overview about me. You want to pass on to Mega?
Yeah, that sounds good. So Mega, over to you. Oh, I think you're muted, Mega. So I'll unmute you, and then.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Sorry.
I can see you now and hear you.
Fantastic. Right. Hello, everyone. Just to echo what Anna said, it's amazing that we've been able to have this event. It's obviously our first event as support line advisors as well, so it's grand to see everyone on the screen, even though would have been nicer to meet you guys in person, but at least we're having this event virtually. So I think that's a great start to start with. In terms of a little bit of introduction to myself, I've worked in the helpline sector for the last 14 years or so. Very much started in the domestic and sexual abuse sector in various capacities, both as frontline as well as managerial positions. But also for the last 7 or 8 years, I've been a trainer. More recently, working with a lot of health-based organizations, delivering a range of skills-based training on communication skills. And that's really introduced me to some of the great work people are doing in the health sector, particularly in supporting families and people suffering from a range of variety of conditions. On a personal level, what really kind of inspired me to work for a grand charity like TSA is that I'm also a mum of a little boy with a rare condition, medical condition. He's got nephrotic syndrome. And although he's managing it well, there have been times when he was first diagnosed, when I have felt as a parent, I was lacking that support. I was constantly looking out for symptoms, side effects, feeling very alone and sometimes very overwhelmed by the knowledge of the condition as well. So I think, just being able to understand what it feels helps me on the helpline to empathize with the needs of our callers and those that we are reaching out as a charitable organization. So it's great. So I think a combination of that experiences is what brought me to TSA. Last 4 months has been a great learning curve for myself, and I'm sure Anna will agree as well. So, but it's also so great to talk to people on the helpline, be able to support them, provide them with just some emotional support, just to say hi, how are you? And I think the reassurance that you're not alone out there. We are always here at the end of the telephone if you need to just have a chat with us. Outside work, I'm a very busy mom, so but I also enjoy cooking and reading. So yeah, when we're not in lockdown and when I haven't got the kids around constantly, that's what I like doing. So yes, it's great to meet all of you and hope you'll enjoy today virtually. Thank you. Over to you, Luke.
Lovely, thank you, Mega. Is there any questions for Anna or for Mega right now? I'll just give a few seconds just to see. Or if you just want to say hello or anything.
Hi, it's just me very quickly. At some point, I need to get in touch with noisy, sorry. At some point, I need to get in touch with one of you regards to an issue. So I'm not sure what's the best way of getting hold of you guys later on, but yeah, I need to talk to somebody about an issue which is linked to TS. If that's okay.
Sure. Yeah, you can always ring us on the helpline. We're open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. I think we can put our number up, Luke. It's 0808 801 0700. So yeah, just give us a buzz. It's a free phone number anytime during that times. Just give us a buzz and we'll see how we can best help you.
Awesome, thank you.
I think you've got the details on the slides, haven't you, Luke? So if you put one of those up maybe later and people can take the details from it.
Yeah, we've got them later. Lovely.
Right, Luke, am I unmuted?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Right. I just wanted to say how heartening it was to hear Mega say that they're there to share the journey and be a listening ear. So somebody doesn't need to have a problem getting a benefit or sorting out the housing or get to clinic. If they're just having a really miserable day and want somebody to talk to, you're there for that as well. And
definitely.
And thank you for saying that, because I think that's really, really important to people, that you're there to share the journey with them, even if you can't wave a magic wand and cure, but you're there to share the journey. So thank you for saying that.
That's fine. Thanks, Janet. Thank you.
Great. Okay.
You want to say anything, just say it. I think understanding is a lot of understanding is a lot of what we wish for, really. Just doesn't have to be that you know everything. Sometimes understanding can be just as good.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people just want someone to talk to who's going to listen, and listening is just as important as talking sometimes. Yeah, so you know that helps too.
I think that even just in the climate we're in at the moment, that listening is really good. I'm on a admin on a local group for COVID support, and I've decided to do a counselling and safeguarding course, so I can actually talk to not necessarily TS people, but talk to other people, just so they've got someone to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think particularly the current climate, like you say, just having someone to just have a conversation, just to chat, eases so much anxieties and that loneliness that helps at this moment in time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just nice to be involved, to be able to be involved in this meeting, because if we weren't here, if we didn't have COVID-19, we'd have been at the World Snooker, so we wouldn't have been able to come. So at least we could join out this year.
Silver linings.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to catch up with everybody as well, because I mean, with everybody being in different areas of the country, it's sort of it's nice to sort of to be able to actually see people's faces as well, to hear them too. It's you miss seeing people, and it's nice to be able to people's like names that you might have heard of. It's nice to actually be able to put a face to the names as well now. So yeah, nice to meet everybody.
Oh, that's great.
What I have decided though is when we can do Outlook again, if it's up in Durham, I know it won't be my birthday party like it was meant to be, but I will host a party after Outlook anyway, so we can just have a good old knees up type of thing. So it won't be my birthday party, but I will still do all the party that I was going to do on the evening of Outlook, so we can still have a bit of fun. So
oh, that's lovely.
Fantastic,
Good.
fantastic.
Sounds good.
Hopefully you'll be able to celebrate me being qualifying as a nurse as well, because I'm slightly behind with everybody else who was qualified already, but never mind, you know, these things happen. But
hello, if you get there.
I'll get there eventually.
Yeah. Celebrate the veterans. That'll be great.
Yeah, double celebrations.
Yeah, we were lucky. I got my 50th in just before, so we're all right.
I know, I had a good knees up.
I think we'll need it by then.
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
We did now.
Can I just ask something?
It might be nearly my 50th by the time the women get everything sorted out.
Andrew wanted to speak.
Sorry, go on, Andrea.
Yeah, I was just going to suggest and ask what people thought. If people are newly diagnosed, would it be possible for them to have a Skype or FaceTime kind of consultation to give them reassurance, you know, for the first time, and they could see somebody and get a bit more comfort and reassurance from the support line and from the, you know, if they're newly diagnosed, just speaking to somebody, having a face might be a bit more of a comfort than just a voice at the end of the phone. Would that be a possibility? What do people think about that?
I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, brilliant idea.
It's certainly something that we can look into. I think just straight off, even from doing this, we can see the power of what video is. You know, I mean, it's even compared to just audio. This is such a more powerful way for doing everything. So yeah, it's certainly something that we'll look into. It's a good idea, Andrea. Thank you. But
there is a Facebook Mum and Dad. There's a Facebook group for TS mums and dads that has a lot of new people in it that gives an awful lot of advice. And from my point of view, it sort of never occurred to me when Anna was having problems the other week to ring the advice line. And I think it needs to be put out there a bit more for us to take it on board, because we ring the epilepsy nurse, we email the consultant, she talks to me, she talks to the psychologist, but it never occurred to us to ring you guys. And I think that has to be our first point of contact, maybe, to make it more in our faces somehow. And maybe groups like this could do that.
That's really helpful. That's good to know. It shows that we need to get it out there a little bit more, perhaps. That, as you say, make it front of mind and everything else. So yeah, thank you.
Jane, can I just say that the other night, by accident, there was a chat group set up by Paul Maywood, and he pressed the button that we all ended up chatting the other night for a good couple of hours. Now, if you wanted your own messenger, for most of us, I believe, just messenger us and have a Facebook chat with any of us. You know, doesn't you know, we're all here for each other. It doesn't matter to the helpline. Any of us.
Absolutely, and thanks for that, Phil. But I'm meaning more on like a medical side of things, or
yeah, I know.
Help or something like that. The TS helpline needs to be more in my head, anyway.
Yeah.
And same for other mums.
Yeah, it's just that if you just need a listening ear, then you know, for the medical stuff, yeah, fine. But you
Yeah.
just need a listening ear. Any of us are listening ear.
Well, yeah,
You know we are.
That's
Yeah.
a brilliant idea. Really good.
We're all here. We're all here for you know, to listen if anybody needs us for anything at all. Well, all the guys know that you know, that we're here to help. So
that's it. That's it, exactly. It's great, lovely. So what I'm going to do is we've got a little bit of an overview. It was just a couple of slides just to confirm exactly what the support line offers, and just a bit more background information. It's all stuff that's on the website as well, honestly, but it always helps just to emphasize it, because some people might have some questions and things like that as well. So same thing as before. If you do have any questions, just try to get my attention somehow, maybe give a wave, or just pop yourself off mute as well, I suppose. So yeah, so the support line is in its pilot stage right now. So we're using this time right now to get to grips with exactly like where there's possibly any hiccups and things like that. So for example, Jane, that was a great example that you gave just there, that we need to make it much more front and center and things like that. So that's what this time is all about, really. As you've said, contact us over the phone, which is free form, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. You can also email, and you can also post as well, if that's something anyone will be keen to do. If you really want to get your thoughts down on paper and to get it off, it can be helpful. I know that personally. I find writing, journaling and things helps me a lot. And you can talk about, as Janet has just pointed out there as well, you can talk about any TSC related topic, or if you're just feeling a little bit fed up or whatever, or it doesn't have to necessarily be, I have a question about XYZ, or a medical question, things like that. We're still here for that, but we're also here for the broader things as well. Even if it's just the listening ear, that's absolutely fine. The team is home-based, so Anna and Mega are home-based, and they're focused, sorry, losing my voice. They're focused only on the TSC community as well. So they're part of the TSA team for the TSC community. There's no one else. And they're fully trained and knowledgeable on the impact of living with TSC across the UK. So it's not only for England, it's not only for the South or whatever, it's for everyone. So my next slide is how the support line works. So a bit similar, nice and simple. You contact the support line team with whatever inquiry you have, whether that's phone, email, post. Later in the year as well, we're hoping to get web chat on board, because we know that from our research and things that's a thing that a lot of people would get a lot out of. So fingers crossed, hopefully at some point in the year, you'll pop onto the website and you'll get a little thing saying, contact the support team, Anna is working today. You can type in your query and Anna can speak to you that way as well. It just gives another option. So you'll then speak to a TSA support line advisor, as I said, about anything, everything TSC related. If you ring, your inquiry should be answered straight away. If you email, it'll be worst case within 3 working days. Hopefully it will be a little bit quicker than that though. And if you post anything from within 3 working days of us receiving the letter, so that's not necessarily you posting it, but it's 3 days of us receiving it. For now, during COVID-19, everything might be a little bit different, with delays in raw mail and things like that. But yeah, but one of the really clever things about the support line is that once we've spoken to you in your inquiry, we try and learn from that as well. So it helps inform us on what information we have on the website, for example, or if you give any great tips. So again, Jane's tip there about making the support line front and center. We try and learn from that. So if we're getting loads of questions about one topic, we'll make sure we have something on the website about this, or put something on Facebook and things like that. But all of that information is, of course, anonymous as well.
I was going to say, hopefully that's been apparent during the coronavirus outbreak. We've been trying to be really responsive. So as soon as we started getting calls about coronavirus and TSC, we put that into a pack of information that we could send out with scan and also put up on the website. And similarly, we noticed straight away that we started getting questions from people about shielding and whether they needed to shield and who was most at risk. And we turned that into information for the website as quickly as possible to try and reach as many people as we can. So I think that's what we mean by learning. As soon as we get a couple of calls on a topic, we start talking internally about whether it's going to be something of interest to loads of people, and if so, how fast can we get some information out to everybody. And that seems to be working pretty well with Anna and Mega's support so far. We're picking stuff up really quickly.
Great, lovely. Thank you, Louise. So I've got a little bit of frequently asked questions. So there's a couple of things that we know that people have asked a few times, so we just wanted to reiterate the answers to you, but then I'll open up for any questions or comments as well. So the first one is, are TSA support line advisors based in the office? So as I said, no, Anna and Mega are 100% home-based. Anna, you're in, is it Nottinghamshire? You're in?
Derbyshire, close.
No. And Mega is Leicestershire.
West Midlands, close.
Somewhere. So the next one was, is it just a call centre that the TSA has access to or anything like that? Again, Mega and Anna are part of the TSA team for the TSA community. Who will you get through to when you contact the support team? 9 times out of 10, it should be Anna or Mega. Well, probably more than 9 times out of 10. So very much.
I was going to say the only time it won't be Anna or Mega is when they go on holiday, because obviously they do have to have leave occasionally. In case Rachel and Julie, who are the other members of the team, will be helping respond to things as well to give cover when they're on leave. Yeah. So 9 times out of 10 will be Anna and Mega, but we will let them go on holiday occasionally.
Yeah. We'll let you. So just a few more. So will calls be timed or limited, like on other phone lines? So the long story short is they won't be. If you need the time, then you'll get it basically. Is the service for people only who live in? Is the service for people who only live in England? Absolutely not. It's for everyone in the UK, whether you live in the Isle of Skye or whether you live in Islington in London or somewhere in Wales or Northern Ireland or anywhere else. The support line is key for you. Will I need to update the support line advisors about my personal situation every time I ring? We should be doing it, where when you contact us, we'll be developing sort of an idea of who you are as it is. So you won't have to always, every time you won't have to say, well, I'm this person, this is how I'm affected by TSC, X, Y, Z. It should be, we'll start to paint a picture of you. In many cases, we'll have that information already. But for some people, you might have to start a little bit on the more basics to start off with, but it won't be a thing where you have to do it every single time. But this will be different on a case by case. And so the last one I had was, do support line advisors have knowledge of local services? Again, the answer is yes. So we have a fantastic information officer who really works hard on stuff like this. We've got a handbook for everyone that works in the support team that's very regularly updated with different services and things like that. And we do our best to make sure that every service in there is worthwhile and will help you continue. So we won't be, or we'll be doing our best not to signpost you to something only for you to then hit a brick wall. We'll do our best to make sure that doesn't happen. So that was everything from me. If there's any questions or anything, feel free to speak now, or any comments. It doesn't have to be anything huge. I'll go on mute for a little while just to see if anyone wants to say anything. No, all good. Yeah, okay. If I was sharing, actually, let me very quickly share my screen, because I have the free phone number and also the email address, and I'll share it just for a little while so people can jot it down or whatever. And as I say, it is on the website, but I think it's good to emphasize this now. So hopefully you can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll leave that on just for a minute or so,
Okay.
and then we can keep going.
Yeah, that's significantly better than your desktop that we saw the other day. That was
Very much. Yeah.
Oh, lost everything. Oh no.
That was disgraceful.
I've cleaned it up now, especially just in case. But as I say, the support line is free phone Monday to Friday, 9 AM to 5, and email support@touristsclerosis.org.
Luke, I don't know when it would be a good time to mention it, but I'm going to mention it now then, because I have no idea when's best time
for it.
There is something that because I have FND and I'm still working with a psychologist because we're trying to fix my body up. But they recommended something to me that they said like anyone can use, and especially if people are struggling at the moment with coronavirus. And it is a part of the NHS, and it's called Recovery College. And they have specifically a course on there at the moment about dealing with stress from coronavirus. So it might be a really good thing for you guys to maybe have a look at and maybe share as a have it as a resource that you can share with people. But she said it was open to anybody, but it's specifically about dealing with the stress that coronavirus might be causing anxiety. I just thought I didn't know if it was best to say it, so I thought I'd just go and say it.
No, that sounds excellent. We'll definitely give that a look.
I don't know if it's an online resource. I think I'm not entirely certain the website. It's called
Okay.
And it is either made by the NHS or it's in conjunction with the NHS. So there's no fee. It says college, but it's just courses that can help with anxiety and stress, and they have multiple courses on there that specifically COVID-19.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you for that, Kate. We'll definitely have a look, and we'll be sure to see if we can share it on our website or Facebook or whatever. And just to reiterate, if anyone ever finds anything like that, do share it with us, because it's such a big help. Anything that maybe you found useful or anything that you've seen from other people, just let us know. That's great. Right, let me stop sharing this screen now so you can hopefully see it a little bit better.
The only thing I'd say, Luke, is the only negative I've got is people sometimes feel it at weekends, and the support line only works Monday to Friday. That's the only negative I'd say. That's when a lot of people may feel let's think, vulnerable, maybe.
Yeah, so sorry, give a quick wave. One of the things we're looking at is when we're missing calls. So because we're using a central call system now to get the phone calls to Anna and Mega, whichever one of them is on call each day, it logs when we're receiving phone calls and when we're receiving emails. So during the pilot, we should get a much better idea of whether there are like peaks of time in the evening or at the weekend that we are missing calls, and it will really help us to understand that. And also when the emails are coming in, we do notice sometimes that they might come in very early during the morning or in the evening. So we're trying to see if there's a pattern to that will help us shape the service as we go forwards. So obviously we're only 3 months in at the moment, but we'll be learning from that over time and looking at whether we need to offer other hours as well, or whether we want to consider that as we go forward. So yeah, it's a really good point.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, Louise, because we raised that at the big day 18 months ago when they announced that they were going to do the pilot going on to this line. But Martin at the time did say it would only be 9 to 5 to start with, and then see how we go from there. So that is good that you're logging it and seeing that we're getting where the calls are, and then you can shape it around that.
We also have a voicemail, so anything that is left over the weekend will be picked up on Monday morning. If a voicemail's left saying that you need a call, we can always ring you back, but obviously I know it's not always